everybody.
Hey.
What's up? We're back. Music City Writers Room podcast. I am your co-host, John Clinebell. This is Scott Barrier.
Hello, the other guy. And of course, we have our co-host,
Jericho.
Jericho, yes.
Did you forget my name,
Her
Scott?
name?
Did you forget her name?
I have my moments.
Oh my God.
It's a thing.
He was like,
It's been a long day, okay?
We
Jericho.
talk every
It's been-
day.
I know, it's been a very long day, you all, so I
It's
might
okay.
have some more of those happen tonight. I was down in the middle of 12 tracks, editing tracks for an artist today, so I did 12 today again. And so my brain's a little shot, not that that's an excuse, so if I stare
that's
off
a
into
lot.
space, that's probably what it's from. But anyway, so we should probably introduce our guest tonight. Tay Lewis. Hello, welcome.
What's
He's in the
up?
house. Tay's in the house, yeah. Brooke Adler.
Hi.
Noah Pelty, and now they're in a duo, so we actually have two guests. I don't know, technically three. I don't know.
yes,
Yeah.
legally, Brooke and I are one person.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're one person, and so they'll.
Somewhere Blue is the duo.
Yeah, Summer
Okay.
Blue.
Oh, I love that.
See, and I'm spacing out again. So Summer Blue is
Why,
that?
why is it Summer Blue?
Somewhere
Blue. Sorry,
Somewhere Blue.
I misheard.
Oh, you're good.
Why is it Somewhere Blue?
We put a
Random.
bunch of words in a bucket, and those were the two that came out of it.
Oh.
Yeah, and ironically, I only play blue guitars. So
Oh, okay.
I've got
It
like
happened to
3
work.
blue acoustic guitars. So we're like, this is a vibe. It's a good like marketing
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So,
Now,
yeah.
is that the first two that you pulled out? And
Those
it
were
just
the
happened
first
to
two.
work?
Yeah.
Just happened. That
And
was.
That's
Wow.
pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah, we were like, wait, this is actually really cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you didn't
Okay.
use AI, and you didn't
We
use
did
No,
not
we
use
did
AI.
not use AI.
And unfortunately, it got really expensive for me because Brooke plays blue acoustic guitars, which
Yeah.
meant that now I had to go and buy some acoustic blue
Oh,
guitars.
no. Yeah,
really?
he had to play the
Twisting
part.
your arm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I play blue electric guitars.
And you have
Wow.
to you have
Okay.
to dress up to match the blue guitar
oh, yeah.
too.
So
Yeah.
just, it's all
I'm
denim
not-
all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all blue all the
A lot of
time.
denim. Yeah.
Do you have a blue car too?
You know we don't.
We're
We haven't
working
done
on that.
Yeah.
A blue tour bus someday?
Yeah,
right?
I think we'll probably go like blue, shitty '90s transit van.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's gonna start there. Yeah, I'm going to the tour bus. That's,
Yeah.
it's
Brooke's like, so we're getting a bus. Okay.
And you'll
Slow
go
down.
you'll go somewhere in it.
Yes,
Yeah, we'll go somewhere blue.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh yeah,
Off
we're
into the blue.
Yeah,
Right?
us
Up
and
into
our
a wild blue.
no released music are gonna get a tour bus.
So
Not
how
for long.
long how long ago was it that you pulled the strips?
That was July.
Okay.
Yeah.
July, yeah.
All right. Are you, so you're
Weird.
working on recordings right now?
We have recordings. We're actually
Cool,
releasing
cool.
our first single on April 18th.
Yes.
All
Shameless
right.
Yeah.
plug.
What's it
April
called? What's it
18th.
called?
Fight This Out.
We're gonna play it later.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
we'll-
ask.
we'll-
Are we gonna hear the song?
Absolutely.
Because I mean that was pretty. On
That-
the-
honestly,
no,
that works,
no.
man. Just gonna take some notes.
So maybe trio. No.
Now, Noah, I really like your hat, but I have to say Tay wins the best hat of the
He
couch
Oh,
Damn.
contest.
Tay wins. Tay wins.
Damn.
What about Scott?
So,
It's a pretty
he's
good
not on the
one.
couch.
No,
he's
I,
not on the couch.
I,
I said
I don't count.
on
I'm
the
just
couch.
I'm just a host.
Best
I don't
hat on the
count. I don't
couch.
count.
Yeah,
Like-
fair enough. Who makes your hat, Tay?
I forgot.
Yeah,
the
who were you
company.
wearing?
Oh, yeah.
Don't be
Hold on
shy.
me. Uh-oh.
Forgot the company.
Oh, he's gatekeeping.
Where did you
Oh,
buy
of
that?
course.
Shoot, they're gonna kill me. They're literally going to kill me.
They don't sponsor
if they
you or
watch
anything, do
this. No, they don't sponsor.
Okay,
me.
okay.
Okay, I was
Um,
gonna say, yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot their name. They're from Ohio, and I saw them on. No, they saw me on The Voice, and so when they saw me on The Voice, they was like, "Yo, we would love to make hats for you, like, because we saw that you're like a hat guy, so we would love to make hats for you." So I was like, "All right, dope."
Sick.
That's
And
awesome.
they reached out and they got me like a fedora hat, and then they made me a cowboy hat as well. So I was like, I'm down with it. Let's do
Great.
it.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is an
So all you
original.
gotta
This is an original.
Whoa,
bro.
wow.
all you have to do to get a hat from them is appear on The Voice.
Literally.
Yes. So
Right.
so
They were like, oh
easy
my
to find. They're
gosh.
easy to find, right?
And then,
So
and
easy to
then
find.
literally when I wore it on the show, they were like freaking out. They was like, they sent
That's
me a voice
awesome.
message and was like, "Oh my fucking God, I can't believe you're wearing my
Made
shit
their
on
year.
TV.
That's
Oh my
amazing.
You're like,
God."
That's
send me
amazing.
more.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, send me some more shit. Yeah, that's it.
So
I'll make you more.
So
Yeah,
you
that's the
didn't
whole
know-
reason
It
we
seems
got
like-
into any of this. It's just free shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
we'll take it.
I was
We're
gonna say, it seems
starving
like that
artists.
hat's had a couple of cool nights, couple cool
Yeah,
experiences. Like
yeah.
it's
That's
got some
awesome.
personality.
It's gone
I
through
love
a
it.
I think it's
bit.
cool. It's got some
kinda ripped
personality
a little
with it.
bit, changing a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No character. I was gonna say I dig it.
Yeah.
dope.
How long
It's
have
dope.
you and the Hat been doing stuff together?
Oh man,
How long have you and your hat been together?
we've been together for 2.5 years.
Oh, so it's getting serious.
Hey,
It's
that's
getting
good.
serious.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
getting serious.
Does your hat have a name?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I should.
I don't know.
name her,
People
though.
don't name
I
their
should
hats.
name her though.
Nobody names
I ain't
hats.
never think about naming
Yeah.
the hat. Like
We name our guitars.
Betty.
We all name
You know, Betty.
Betty the Hat.
Betty
Done.
the
Betty the
Hat.
Hat. You know
Betty
what
the
I'm
Hat.
saying?
You heard it here
Moana.
first.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one, bro.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Moana. You know,
Oh my gosh.
Disney, sponsor the show.
sponsor it.
Yeah.
You know,
That would be lovely. So, and what other kind of hats do you have? What do they give you for free?
fedora.
Fedora.
Hat. So it was a green fedora hat. Like
That's
I,
cool.
I
Oh yeah, those are
literally-
like the 30s and 40s, like
Yeah.
detective kind of hat.
I
right?
literally
Yeah, so-
was
I don't
like,
know,
when
maybe
they
not
sent me the
detective.
color, because I told them, I said, just surprise me with the color, and then I would have never
Dangerous.
thought that they would
Green.
do a green freaking hat.
Awesome.
And they was like, yo, this will look tight on you. But then when I brung it to the wardrobe people at The Voice, they were like, we do not know what the fuck we're going to put
Stop.
together.
What color was she agree?
It was like the dark, it was
Okay.
like dark
Like
green.
forest
Like an
green.
olive
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was
That's
like,
interesting.
I don't
It's
know how they're
unique.
gonna fit
It
this
looked
together. So
good.
they came up with this yellow shirt. It was like a yellow
Okay.
with like burgundy pants.
Yes.
And
That's
they
cool.
Oh,
they
I
put
love
it
it.
together.
That's a
And I
palette.
was, I know, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, because I would have never thought of how to dress that
I
shit
love
up. 'Cause
that.
I was like,
Yes.
y'all do this shit because this is y'all job. Like,
Yeah.
it's,
Like,
Do we,
send me
do
over
we
some
have
clothes to
graphics?
send
match.
Can we
me,
get
like,
a shirt?
exactly.
Yeah,
Imagine the
I'm
outfit.
gonna need
Later.
a picture of this
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
afterwards,
I'm
please.
gonna send y'all the picture because like literally I looked at when they showed me the style of what they were like, yo, let's go with this, and I was like, I would have never thought that y'all could be able to figure this out because I'm sitting there looking at it and I'm like, maybe white and black, but that's too basic, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, when they showed me the picture of it, let's go, come on
good
now.
footage.
So that's
yeah.
really
So-
interesting. So, now, did you have people that took care of everything, including your wardrobe?
Oh, 100%.
How does that
yeah.
work? I don't even know. I've never been on one of these shows.
Yeah,
or
tell us about
backstage. I have no idea.
Yeah, so they have a person who comes in and they have like 7 stylists that come in and they'll be like, okay, you choose which stylist that you want to go with. And so you have to choose.
Do they
between those.
audition or something like that?
No,
Say,
like
hey,
they
I
just
do
kind of
this, I
show
do
you
that.
their like catalog
Ah, okay,
through
all right.
like a
All right.
booklet, and they're just like, okay, this is like who you want to choose, and so you go and you flip through and you're like, oh, this is great, like who
Oh,
is this?
cool.
And they show you their portfolio of like who they've worked with, and the guy that I chose, he has worked with like Blackish, and he's done stuff for America's Got Talent.
Awesome.
He's also done with stuff with BET, MTV, TRL back in the day. So I was like, I gotta go with this guy. He's done a couple of reality stuff as well. So I was like, I'm gonna go with him, and he dressed me the whole time while I was on the show. There was some
That's
stuff where I
great.
was like, kind of like, bro, I don't know. Kinda like,
Yeah.
you kind of going way too far a little bit. Like there was one outfit where I really did not. The other thing is too, when you're on the show, is that like you have the outfits that you want, but then they'll tell you like, okay, we have to choose 3 outfits depending on what the producer wants.
So you don't even get to pick
So you
what
don't
you
even
wear?
get to really pick exactly what you want to wear.
Oh, wow.
So you might like one a lot better than the others,
Right.
and then they pick the one you don't like.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
no.
So it's like you have that outfit, you're like, oh, this is a great outfit. And then they're like, okay, but we have to choose 2 more outfits just in case the producer may not like this outfit. Because the producer, it's up to their discretion because you're on their show.
Sure.
You sign their contract, so that's how it goes,
Yeah.
right?
Is that hard as an artist? Like, I don't know if it says. I mean, I know as girls, like we're the peacocks of the
Yeah.
species, you know. So it's like
Yeah.
part of our identity. But does that create like some dissonance for you as an artist to what you're presenting yourself as?
100%. So like, especially when you get to a certain part of the show where it's just like, this is what I know. I've known that this is what I want to do, and this is the brand that I want to go. But to them, in their mind, they're like, this is a show. This is especially like with girls. Like some girls, they want to expose themselves a little bit more, like and show like. You know, they want to dress like a Cardi B or Meg Thee Stallion type style, right? But NBC does not. They don't abide with that.
Right.
They're like, no, we're covering up. Like, what are
Yep.
you doing? No, this is not. That's not how that works, right?
Yes.
So you have to be very particular about, like, they have to be very particular about what you wear. And so my stylist, like, he kind of like went a little bit above. Like some of the stuff that they were like saying, like, hey, maybe they'll choose this, maybe they'll choose that, and then they never chose it. Like it was always like they went the safe route. So some of my outfits, I will say one of my outfits on the playoff round was the most outfit that was like, y'all let me go out of the pocket for this, because it was like the shirt was like really low, and it was like I was like, okay, this is dope. Like it shows my muscle and everything. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm with it, right? And then the next outfit was like, nope, dress shirt, jacket. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the most important question: were you allowed to keep the clothes?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
100%.
Oh, that's
Okay.
great.
Oh,
So you at least got
that
something.
changes the game.
Yeah.
You walked away with something.
You
from
walk
the show.
away with the clothes. Now there's certain clothes that you can't walk away with because like they have a contract with the stylist. Like, because what'll happen is that you choose your stylist obviously, but like there's certain clothes that they are donated from other stylists that are a part of like partnership with the show.
Cool.
So they'll say, well, we can't give this to you because the stylist that we work with, they want us to just keep it in-house with like the show, and they want to use it with somebody else. So I'm like, all right, that's cool, whatever.
Recycling clothes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah. So you probably notice sometimes on the show, like somebody's wearing the same belt that somebody wore like 2 seasons ago.
Wow.
Probably
I would
never-
I
never.
don't
You have
think
to
that's
ask.
I'm always
Yeah.
looking
Yeah,
at
you
the
gotta
now.
study
it.
Now you
Yeah.
gotta look. You
Yeah.
gotta like.
Yeah. So
I've
you
seen
never
that
notice
before.
it, but it, like there's people that have wore like maybe the same shirt or the same like dress that somebody wore. All they do is dry clean it and then they use it again. Like
You
Yeah,
wouldn't
I'm
know.
not sure if I'd be watching the show. And I'd be like, that's bullshit. They were wearing that shirt 3 seasons
Yeah.
ago.
nobody does that, so that's
Battle
why they.
royale.
No.
Yeah, nobody's gonna
You'd have
see
to be
it.
like the biggest fan of the show and like dig
Right.
deep. to
There's
notice
gotta
it.
be
I wear the
some
same dress
fans
this
that
way.
notice shit like that.
I would.
I
There's
bet.
obviously
gotta be.
people out there
There's
that
gotta
would
be.
like,
Yeah.
figure that out. But
Yeah.
I
I
would never.
can't watch the
pick
show
up
the
on
And-
same anymore now.
Yeah.
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 That's really trippy. Yeah.
I'm giving y'all some tea.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Inside information.
Anything else? Any other interesting details you're allowed to talk about?
If I go way too far, might spill way too much with this show. But
DC police are gonna break down the door and
right,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, "Hey, what are you doing, son? You're not supposed to say that."
I mean, don't break your NDAs or anything. We don't
Yeah,
want to get you in
right.
trouble.
No. I mean, once you're like after a year or two of being out of the show, like they could give 2 rats.
You're
fans.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you
So,
say something bad, you probably won't get invited back for the
100%.
All-Star special or whatever it is.
So
that
like,
they do,
say for instance,
you know?
like you become the most viral person on the planet, you know,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hey, we would love for you to come back." They probably will not let you come back if you like bash them on the show.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Understandable,
You know what I'm
right? It's
saying?
understandable.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't want bad press.
Yeah,
They
because it's
do
like
not want-
for you're like a representation for them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's true.
Unless what you
So-
said got like 1 billion views on TikTok.
Still, it would be
Maybe?
like
No,
like
all right.
that's kind of like if you go to like to Kelly Clarkson show, right?
Yeah.
And Kelly Clarkson is like you like basically look like you're having a good time, and then all of a sudden you get off the show. And then you go on your live and you're like, Kelly Clarkson is the worst person ever. Like, you know, don't
Yeah,
ever like talk.
Well, yeah,
to
the
her.
royalty of the
Yeah.
voice. You don't want to ever.
No,
yeah,
exactly.
Don't want to ever do
cross
that.
Exactly.
So they do believe in bad publicity.
100%.
So I have a question.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask you this, but is there a connection financially that they have because you got a lot of your platform, I'm assuming, from their platform? Are there strings attached, like for a certain amount of time or forever from that?
Meaning Like
do
you
they
get
get
money from it?
royalty? No, do they get
The
money? Like
contract as
royalties
far
as-
off
Oh,
of what you do?
so-
do they have a say over what you do later? Like, are there what kind of strings are attached for using their platform to kind of grow?
So if you win, there's contractual stuff that happens where it's like they have protection of like
You sign all that before you would win, right? Okay.
Yeah. There's protection of like, oh, we get to use the likeness of your name
Mhm.
if we want to do those things, or if you want to record a record, like we get dibs off of that record for like 3 to 5 years,
Oh,
like.
wow.
So there's like stipulations behind it, but if you don't win, like I think you're out of your contract after 14 days. So
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
That doesn't
fast.
sound
so-
overly
Oh, wow.
restrictive
That's
either.
not bad.
at
So
all.
that's not bad. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking
2
it
weeks
was
of
worse.
laying low,
Yeah.
and then you get all your
Yeah.
money when you play. That's
Now
great.
I've
Yeah.
heard some things like I've heard like things with Idol. It's
I'm wondering if Carrie's still
Yeah.
paying them. You know,
Well,
We
like,
don't know. Yeah.
so
what's going on?
there's been sources of like when you first like the first couple of years with Idol, it was all like ownership. It was
Well,
like
Brooke can probably speak to that. You were on Idol, weren't you?
No, well, I did both actually.
Yeah.
I
You
was
did
super
both.
young, so when
Yeah.
I was
you
15,
did the voice too.
yeah.
What?
Well, I made it to blind auditions.
Okay.
So, and that's the other thing people don't realize. There's like 4 auditions to even
Yes.
get to the blind audition.
Yeah.
So I was, I think at the time, like the youngest contestant to like do the blind audition. I had just turned 15.
Wow.
So looking back, I was like, I was a little baby. But yeah, I took the blind audition, didn't get a chair turned. You know, I was so upset because I was so young. But
Idiots.
it was the best.
Idiots.
The best thing, honestly, it was a great experience, and I learned
Not
so
on the
much.
show.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. You mean to cut you
No,
off
you're
there.
good. But a few years later, I did American Idol. Same situation. I got through the 4 rounds of auditions to sing in front of the coaches.
Wow.
I got a yes from Luke Bryan, and then Katie and Lionel said no. So again, great
What?
experience, but you know, shows aren't for everyone. I think it's a great platform to get exposure,
Yeah.
and I think it's a great experience to meet so many incredible people
Yes.
through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been in Nashville coming up 6 years now, and just writing and playing out, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
there's just so many avenues in music, and that's what I love. And I think
Alright.
where I find the most joy is just surrounding myself with good people in Nashville and writing,
Yeah.
getting out there, playing rounds, playing full band shows, and putting music out there.
I find
Yeah.
like that's more important than anything. Like the show
Yeah.
is great, but like
It gives you a boost.
it gives you the boost.
It
But then
does.
like after the show, it's
You're
like
doing the same thing
exactly
that every other artist here is doing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Except you have like a
But
cool,
you have
a
more
cool
followers.
badge. that
Yeah.
you-
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
it
cool.
helps.
You're wearing a jacket. You got a
Yeah.
jacket. You
You
know,
have,
in
a,
a
you
way.
have a Leatherman jacket at this
Yeah.
point. It's like,
Exactly.
which is
Exactly.
great, but
It's
it's,
cool.
like,
It's
you
cool.
know,
Yeah.
you have to keep moving, and especially with this industry that we live in now, it's like you have to keep like just pursuing what's next, because like the show is like okay, this is great that you have this platform, but like
Yeah.
what's the next thing? Like
Yeah.
that was so last year. Now you have to move on to like
They're
what's
on to
going
the
on.
next
Right,
season,
they're
the
on to
next
the next
people,
season.
yeah.
I think
Now-
one of the things that could be pretty cool about having that experience, being in the bright lights, having the judges yay or nay you
Yeah.
know, all that stuff might help down the road when you get that big break of some kind and all of a sudden you're performing in front of a huge crowd, sold out crowd, and
Yeah.
do you think that's something that might be helpful in that way?
Meaning like
Just be
the show
prepared.
helps
The
you
pressure,
to.
like
To
the
be
pre-
prepared for the
that
pressure
kind of thing
of
with
like
the numbers.
when you take off.
I mean, that's okay. So this is not to be cocky, all right. So I felt so for me when I was on the show, like I just felt like that I was just playing in Nashville again. I just felt like I was playing like at a live show again, because I've been doing this for so long. I've been doing it since I was like 5, so it's like, and I started doing country music at 13, right? So I'm in my head, I was like, this is another show, another live show. So like, to me, it didn't really give me the exposure to be like, oh, I'm ready for like, you know, headlining shows or like 30,000 people, because like in my mind, I was like, I'm already doing this. I'm okay. I'm good. Like this is just exposure, right? But as soon as I got off the show, I was like going back at it again with like playing in front of like, you know, 5,000 to 7,000 people, right? So it was just like, to me, it was like, this is nothing.
How big-
But I'm grateful for the opportunity. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. How
it
big
does.
was the audience? I mean, so in the studio, so you've both been in like with the studio audience. How many people was that? Maybe 100.
It's
Maybe.
small.
Oh, it's
Is it
small.
pretty
Yeah,
small?
it's like maybe
It looks
like
so big on TV.
I really
I
that was
know.
It looks huge.
it's like a
it
it's
does.
so like with the blinds, it starts small. They have like I think like 50 or 60.
That's
people
all.
in there.
Yeah. And I like
Wow.
blacked out because I was like, I don't even know.
No, but for real. 'Cause
Honestly,
once you get
I
on
don't
the
even know.
stage, once you get on the stage, you black out. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You just kind of like, and Carson, he's like, he's talking to you. He's like, "Are you ready? Are you
Yeah.
ready? Like, are you prepared?" Like, and so like you get up there, it's 50 or 60 people that's probably in there, and then like as the episodes go further, they begin to bring more people in.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All
So
right.
like you get
Turning
to
up the pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you get to the
All right.
blinds, it becomes like 100 people, and then
All
it
right,
gets
all
to
right.
not the blinds but the battles. Then you get to the knockouts, and it becomes like 150 to 200, right?
Okay. All right.
Then it gets to the playoffs, and then it's like, there's about 300 people in here, right? So
Okay.
then it just becomes thicker, right? And then the lives is like,
Well, national television.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like,
I was
You
going to
got
say,
viewers
I mean,
all
did
over,
you
yeah.
feel that pressure? Were you aware? Oh gosh, this is national TV because some people freak out. It hits them.
Oh, I wasn't on that.
I forgot.
Oh my gosh, no.
Oh. I don't know, like with me on that, like,
Someday.
okay, so for me on the, I don't know. It's okay. I'll say this. It's so different when you're being on national television because like you see everything that like you see everything differently. Like when you get on live television, you see like there's a camera lens that is looking at you over here and a camera lens that's looking at you over here, right? But then also there's a teleprompter that's like right in front of you that like everybody's reading off of, right? So there's so many facets of things that are happening where you're just like, what the fuck is happening? You know what I'm saying?
A
Like
lot
you
different
don't
than
know.
just sitting there with an acoustic guitar in your bedroom playing
Right.
something. You
So
know?
it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you get kind of like shook up a little bit, but like especially because the stage gets bigger as you go to the lives, right? So
Huh.
it's no longer about like the smaller stage where you're in front of like 200 or 300 people. It's like now you are in front of like not only the people in here, which is over like 300 to 500 people, maybe even more than that, that's in this audience, but everybody at home is looking at you. Then you got the teleprompters, and you got like 2 or 3 cameras that are like
That's a lot.
rotating.
Yeah.
Like as you're moving, as you're like singing, they're telling you like, don't pay attention to the camera, right? But then there's like cameras that are rotating.
Yeah.
The
You're getting
whole
all
time.
The shots, those
Yeah.
loaded
Like,
shots. and
you know what I'm
everything,
saying? So it's like,
Yeah. Got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
do I look at the camera? Do I not? Like, but then they're telling you like, okay, there's certain points where you have to look at the camera. So it's like you
Yeah.
mentally like having to program yourself to like know that this is where they want you to go. Like this is what you have to do. It's all a strategy to it.
So as the stage gets bigger and bigger, is it something where you are expected to own the larger territory of the space? Are you
They want you to
expected to
move
do
more?
some
That's a good question.
moving
Yeah.
around, some
Yeah.
is there choreography that gets involved with it? Like at
Or
what
stage coaching.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so yes, so they actually hire like 2 what's the thing called? Choreographers.
Yes,
That's
correct.
it. Words are hard. You know? They hire
Oh my
they
gosh.
hire choreographers to come in and like basically tell you like, okay, this is your placement, this is what you're gonna do. Depending on what they see from you, like throughout the blinds and the battles, as they see those 2 stages, they're like, okay, this guy or this girl, they like to move a lot, or they have this energy where they could do this. So they'll start implementing ideas like maybe you can do this, or maybe you do a flip. Like we had a guy from
A flip?
No,
That's
for
what
real.
Noah's gonna
Somebody
do.
did a
we
flip.
we literally had a guy on my season where like in the playoffs, his name is Nathan Chester, and he got to the top 5. Congrats, bro. But
Wait.
he literally did a split like on stage, but they were like telling him, they was like, yo, like, can you do the split at this part of the song?
Oh, okay.
And literally they did it. He did it
Like, on
exactly
time.
on
my
time.
goodness.
Yeah, on cue.
And so
Yeah.
like did the split, slid right back up, and started singing. Got right back on the camera.
Damn.
Like
That was
Prince.
the first time that they've ever had that on
Wow.
The Voice.
Wow.
So Like he changed the trajectory of like what you could possibly do on television at that point.
Wow.
People trying to up it now? Are they trying to do more?
Yeah. But I don't think nobody will ever. I don't think nobody will ever like beat what he's done on
Yeah.
the show. Like, cause
Whew.
nobody's ever did a split on TV. Like,
That's crazy.
well, not even on The Voice. Like, so that's why I was just like, bro.
Crazy.
When he showed me that, because they give you like a video of like your rehearsal. And so they show you exactly like, okay, this is what you can do, your placement, so that way you remember. And I remember going and seeing his video, and I was like, are you crazy as hell for doing that, bro?
Fuck you.
Was it a viral moment? Did it take
No,
off?
it wasn't a
nothing
viral
like that?
moment.
Oh, man.
But
See, that's why you do those things.
I know.
Hopefully get
it
some
wasn't
numbers.
a viral
It didn't even
moment.
work. Oh,
It
man.
wasn't.
That's
It wasn't. I will say
Sorry
some
about
of the viral moments that happened on the show, I'm like, how did that become viral? Because
How did it come? Yeah. How does that happen?
It's the stuff you
Because
don't plan,
it's
right?
stuff that you don't plan. It's
Yeah.
like this song. I'm like, I've heard this song so many times, and it sounds like the song. The singer probably sounds exactly like the record, and I'm like, literally, how did this go viral? And then you have a guy or a girl that doesn't do the song just like the record, and it doesn't go viral.
Yeah, I feel like that's content in general, though, in
Yeah.
the music industry. Like, if you set up a camera and you try to make it look so perfect, it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's not usually going to hit as if it's more natural and you just film it and you're like,
Yeah.
screw it, I'm going to post it.
Yeah.
It's that
Like
way.
what's-
It's that way with anything. If you're
Yeah.
attempting to be profound, the less profound it's going to be.
Like what's the best content you two have put together for Somewhere Blue?
We probably the most interesting, and I'm sure you'll probably agree with this.
Yeah.
Hopefully, was it was around Christmas time. We were doing a show. We were asked to play out at Fox and Lock in Leapers Fork. You
Oh,
guys
yeah,
been
yeah.
to that venue? We love it
It's
there.
our favorite spot.
It's
Um,
cool. It's cool out there.
We were asked to play as part of this sort of Christmas benefit show.
Cool.
And we were like, hell yeah. And then Christmas shows are fun because they ask you to do them in October and you put them in your calendar
Yeah.
and you're like, I'll figure out what I'm going to do as we get
Mhm.
closer. And then all of a sudden it's December 20th and you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to play again? And
Wait a minute.
And we're a duo. So,
Yeah.
if it were just you or just me, it's like, yeah, we've got Christmas songs that we can do, but we're a duo. So we have to come up with an arrangement that's
Yeah.
interesting.
And a harmony.
Oh.
The harmonies.
And
Yeah.
harmonies, and we have
Yeah.
to appear that we have been doing this song together for a very long time.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
So we're like, so what Christmas songs can we do? And that's when you realize that most of the Christmas songs that are in the sort of canonical zeitgeist of people's imaginations are standards from the 50s that have a lot of fucking chords in them.
Oh, really
Yeah.
weird ones.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
really
Jazz
like every other
arrangements.
word.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I remember
Jazz-
playing.
jazz
I remember playing
arrangements.
"Oh Holy
Yep.
Night" for the first time. I was
oh
like,
You're like-
my god.
Yep.
So we're trying to do like, we're Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and we're like,
Oh,
no.
God.
Nothing felt right.
I'll Be Home for
Acapella?
Christmas. No. We
We even went
contemplated
to
that for a
Jingle
minute.
Bells. I
We were-
was like,
yeah, it was like, this is
no.
not happening. So we ended up going with Joni Mitchell's song "River" because it is technically a Christmas song, and it's we started
it's not
trying
ringing
to
a bell for
we
me.
started trying to
No.
coming on Christmas.
the cutting
Run
down
down
trees.
trees.
Yeah,
It's in a lot of
Ah.
Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
If it's in Love
But it's not
Actually,
Into Your
it's a
River.
Christmas
There you
song.
go. There
I
you
was
go.
like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's different.
So we worked out an arrangement for that, and then Brooke's roommate was there, and she just sort of filmed us rehearsing it on the floor of her living room, and it ended up being our most popular reel that we have on Instagram because
Yeah.
it was totally different than the record because we didn't
That's
know the
crazy.
melody, and it was fun. So it's the stuff that you don't even think about that's
Yeah.
just there.
Yeah.
And you just think, oh, okay, I guess we'll just post that. It just works.
Yeah.
It was a really real moment. Like they were in the room with you. It was unrehearsed. It was just
Yeah.
very natural. That's cool.
Yeah, we were
People
just trying
tend to
stuff
like
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool, and yeah, it's funny. Like we're going through YouTube for our show here, but on TikTok, I don't have a lot of videos, but I noticed that when I do something dumb,
Yeah.
it gets a lot of streams.
What was the thing that we did in a writing session a couple of weeks ago?
I hate that.
Isn't that crazy?
No,
I
do
it
something
does.
ridiculously
So
stupid or
much.
funny, and people they will watch it, they will glom on it. But if I try to do a song like a planned,
Yeah.
nothing. It hardly
No,
hits any streams.
A few weeks ago, we
So
posted
strange.
a video on TikTok. We were in a writing session.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I have this habit where in rights, if we're stuck, I'll get up and walk around, like holding the guitar. I'll,
He
like,
paces
I'll
around
pace
the room.
room
Yeah.
and give everybody a stomachache. And
Yeah.
Brooke will eat.
Oh,
if we're
oh,
stuck.
I'm
you know.
sorry.
Oh,
I'm the girl that
yes.
walks into a ride. I've got like a backpack full of snacks.
Me
Oh, yeah.
too.
Like-
Y'all know this.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
with
You want fruit? I got you. You want a
I'm with
cheese
you.
stick? I got you.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
she's a walking
everything.
deli.
Half
Um,
the ride, I'm gonna get hungry, and then I'm
Right.
gonna be
Especially
shit.
if
Like,
you, especially if you're trying to write at 11. Best believe I'm bringing a sandwich if you writing at 11.
you gotta have a
Yeah.
snack. You gotta.
You know
It's
what I'm saying?
popcorn is the most common one I
Hey,
bring these
whatever
days.
gets you through, right? And then there's another guy. Well, we were writing with Craig Lackey. Craig
Yeah.
Lackey, great songwriter.
Yes.
Um,
Hey, Craig.
But you made a video and you posted it being like
Yeah.
this the different types of people in rights, and it was just me like walking around
And the
holding
Home
the guitar.
Depot song in the back.
Yeah.
The dun 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said there's 3 kinds of writers in a room. We got the pacer, the snacker, and then and the one who gets shit done.
Yeah, Craig was at the computer, like
Yeah.
actively trying to write the lyrics to the song.
Like really
Brooke's
focused,
just like cheese stick,
snacking.
and I'm like in the corner, like just walking in circles. It was.
The song wouldn't have happened if everybody wasn't in the room.
Yeah.
You know?
It all
Hey, man,
helps.
Everybody's got their way of doing
It
it,
worked.
so
It was
as long
great.
as it
Yeah.
works, that's what counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never realized too that like the percentages of how songwriting goes is so different from LA.
Oh, it's
and
very
here.
different.
I
Yeah.
never
Hugely
noticed that.
Very
different.
different.
So like you can walk in and like it'd be 5 songwriters, but it's like, what if one songwriter has written a lot of the song, but then like there's probably like the other 4 that only wrote like a couple of pieces of it, and then that songwriter that wrote a lot is the one that gets the most percentage. And you know, in Nashville, it's like no, if everybody's in the
You're
right,
in the room.
everybody's
Yeah.
getting
Even
And,
Right.
and the thing
Yeah.
that's interesting about LA is, depending on who the person who wrote the 80% is, they might not actually get 80% of the song,
Right.
because there's somebody else who wrote one line who has like
or the
clout,
producer wants
and
a piece of it
yep,
as
and
well.
then they
Yep.
get a much bigger slice of
Yeah.
the pie.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
So how
interesting.
is it decided?
Yeah, between the two, yeah.
It's,
Who figures that out?
I never
Lawyers
really.
figured
I
it out.
mean, if you think about it,
Lawyers.
like Ariana Grande, like I love you, okay?
If you're gonna talk shit about Ari, I'm gonna go ahead and cover my face.
Right.
So that
I'm
there's no
sorry.
evidence
I'm
that I was
sorry.
here.
No, but like Ariana Grande, she's a great writer, you know. But
Yeah.
like you know, as you get on a label, like most of the time, they are looking for you to have hits. So like most of the time, she's not writing her songs when she first starts.
Yeah.
Everybody's writing for her, so it's like but they may give her a little percentage of
For
the
sure.
song
Yeah.
because she's an artist, like, you know, so they want her to have a percentage of it, right? But also you have the writers, even though she may not have been in the room,
Yep.
but somebody's like writing for her, right? But she's still gonna get a percentage of it.
I'm
There are artists
guaranteeing.
that do that
Or
too.
it might be like
Yeah.
the producer and
Yeah.
like the 3 or 4 other writers. I mean, you think about it, like most of these songs that are written have like 7
Talking
to
LA.
Sometimes
8
17.
writers. And I'm like,
Sometimes
how
it's
do
like-
you
You're talking about
split
Yeah.
7 or 8
It's
songs?
sometimes more than that.
I don't
about the LA
understand
market,
it.
right?
Like,
Huh?
The
And
LA
then, you know,
market, we're
Spotify-
talking LA.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
hit Nashville too. I
That's
think
true.
there's
Yeah, I
songs
feel
where
like
there's tons
LA
of.
though is more
a lot more
a
people.
lot more
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
it is.
taking
It is.
pieces of the
Well,
pie.
I do think that people in LA are a lot more opinionated
Yeah.
about that, and I haven't had too many experiences with that. A lot of the times I would just do the Nashville thing before I ever moved to Nashville.
Yeah.
I was in there for 15 years, and I did a lot of sync stuff. And in sync, there's like a spirit of collaboration. And,
Yes.
and I feel like it's a little less territorial than like writing for artists or things like that. But people can get very. Oh, well, I wrote, I remember that we said we were going to split it 50-50, but I think I wrote 37 point.
Yeah.
In LA.
You- you re- yeah,
do
exactly.
that. LA do
I
that.
actually
LA
had,
does
I'm
that.
not joking, I had somebody where I wrote a song, it was 50-50. I like to just say stuff up front. Let's
Yeah.
just agree to this. I got like this email saying, I think I wrote like 15% more of the lyrics than you did, so, and then I'm just like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
just don't have time for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say we in the beginning that you talk about those things, but over time, because of the collaborative spirit and with the idea that we're all putting into the song, hopefully we'll continue to like work the song afterwards. But that's where I came to a conclusion with all my co-writers is not worrying about all that craziness. Just split it evenly. Let's just work the song, try to get it out there. something is better than nothing. You know, to have a percentage, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Because if we're fighting over that, sometimes it's not going to go anywhere. Like you said, it strains relationships. You don't want to work with them anymore when they start playing those little games.
Yeah,
with
I
music.
recently had my first contention where it came to that, where management with an artist that was a friend of mine were parting ways, and they were going through all of her songs and what was out and what wasn't. And I got a phone call being like, "How much of this song did you write?" And I had to be like, "I wrote most of it."
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't want to be that guy. But then I'm like CC'd on the email where it's like, "Hey, he says he wrote," and I'm like,
Yeah.
But
Don't play that
but
game.
also,
Don't play that game.
but it's even if it's true,
Yeah.
because he wasn't in the wrong for sending that email. He was trying to make sure that I
Yeah,
I got my correct cut of what was written.
Trying to start something.
But it was still one of those moments where it's like, songwriting isn't always fun.
Yeah.
Because it is still a business. The
It is
music
a
business is still a business. The stuff that we're talking about now, where people writing for artists and all that this has been a debate since the '60s.
That is true.
When Carole King and Jerry Goffin were writing songs in New York
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
churning them out 10 a day, and people were cutting them or not. The discussion over writer share versus artist share has been going on for decades.
Yeah.
So in this new age of streaming, where it's more quantity over quality, it's not even the amount of bullshit that happens over a single song
Yeah.
is crazy, because there's so much more of it and so many people just cranking singles out. So,
That is true.
positivity.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that's why I like the Nashville sort of the way we do things a bit over LA with writing by committee, and extra person comes in, like you said, it's another percentage, but I like that we kind of came to that sort of conclusion, all of us, where we just split it evenly and just let's
Yeah.
just move forward,
Yeah.
just keep it clean.
The
you
goal
know,
is to
and-
get a
in
great
the
song.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's the Nashville saying? Write a word, get a third.
Add a word, get a third.
Yeah, word for a third.
there
Yeah,
you go.
that is correct.
I will
I've never heard
say
of
in
that.
defense of LA, there are a lot of cool people in LA. There are a lot of cool people
Sure.
that don't pull shenanigans. I'm sure there's lots of writers here in Nashville, that pull shenanigans on
All the
stuff
time.
sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Whatever do you mean?
I get it that we're in Nashville. I love Nashville. I decided I'm going to stay, but
You like, what you trying to say, bro?
I'm not trying to say nothing. I will stand in defense of LA though, because there are a lot
There's
of
some incredible songwriters.
there are some
yeah.
great
Yeah.
songwriters there, and there are some people that get it. They
Yeah.
get it that you got to treat people right, and you got to do. But you also got to show up and make sure your business is right too. I think
100%.
that's like a thing. It's probably no different when it comes to country writing than it is like out in LA with like sync stuff or different types of artists. Is like there's different things when you go into the business of it that if you don't know what you're doing, you could
Man.
get the rug swept out from under
Yeah.
you, and you don't
Oh,
even
yes.
know it. You know,
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd be curious to hear from y'all about what's like a lesson that you learned in the music industry. What's a lesson that you had to learn to kind of take a step?
So
up?
how long is this podcast?
Yeah. I mean,
When
where do I
I-
begin?
you want me
When
to
I-
start?
Someone
when I
make the
first
coffee.
moved to- when I first moved to town,
Oh, man.
a guy who had been here for a long time and has a lot of his success. He's won a Grammy, and but he's a really low key guy. And I moved here, and he was like, "Let's get coffee." I said, "Great," and we met up, and he was like, "So what's your plan?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know. I just got here, man."
I just got here. Chill out.
and
Yeah.
so
let me breathe for a
he's like,
second.
"Can I give you a piece of advice that helped me out a lot?" And I said, "Yep." And he goes, "This is gonna, if you do this, it's gonna set you apart from 90% of the people who are here." And I was like, "Great." He said, "Show up on time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole."
pretty
And
simple.
I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
okay." Like, and that it's stuck with me in so many ways, where it's like,
Yeah. Show up.
if you, and show up on time doesn't literally just mean like
No.
show up
just-
on time.
Yeah.
He meant like come correct, know your shit,
Yeah.
walk into the room at the right time and with a positive attitude, and then
Make it known you want to be there.
and then be a collaborator.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
shoot anybody down, But showing up on time and not being an asshole, that's free. You don't have to pay for that. That's,
No, you don't pay a damn thing
that's
for
and
that,
it's,
right?
And it's easy.
Great
and
advice.
it's like, and I'm just, I remind myself of that all the time. It's just show up on time, don't be a dick.
Love that.
And
That's
it's,
true.
And the
that's
other
about
thing-
all you need.
Yeah, seriously. And the other thing about Nashville is, and we talked about this before, was it's a relationship town.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's one of the
Yeah.
things that I learned right away. I've told the story before. I worked for Eddie Rhines when I first got here, and he was George Jones's agent. And so we had a meeting because he knew I wanted to get into music, and he's like, hey, sit down, man, let's have a talk. And so now it's like you come from the LA market. I really did a lot in New York because in Maryland where we were, we played in New York a ton.
What part? Upstate?
No, Manhattan.
Oh,
that's where I'm
Soho,
from.
played a lot of the
So
clubs.
you know Eddie Rabbit is from
Oh.
New York. Well, he's from New Jersey, but then
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
but then he moved
So-
to New York and he did the whole mountain music situation.
Okay,
in New
yeah.
York.
There's actually a scene up there which is people don't know. You know, it's wild. But yeah, I played a lot of those clubs in Soho and Greenwich Village, and just caught the very end of CBGB before it
Ah.
closed, so I was able to
Awesome.
play that stage, which was awesome.
How gross are the bathrooms?
Oh, it's
really?
hard. The whole thing.
Oh, in
I-
New York?
I
Oh,
recommend
horrible.
attend.
No, just see. I'm talking about CBGBs.
Yeah,
Are they as
CBGBs.
bad as people talk about?
I would recommend. Well, back in the day, I would recommend that people get your tetanus shot before you go in there.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so, because there's like metal pipes hanging out, but it's so iconic. It was amazing because behind the stage is a wall. Because behind the stage is like the kind of the green area, and so they had those paint markers or those pens that do the paint thing, like the silver and the gold.
Yeah.
And they have lights back there, and so people had written over the years their names, and it wasn't just like nobody. I mean, it was like Sting, and it was
Yeah,
like
Iggy Pop.
Kurt Cobain, and yeah, right, all these names. And so you just go down that wall, you're like, man, everybody who's iconic in rock played this place on their way up. It's unbelievable. So I'm sorry that they sold the place, but I hope they like pulled the wall.
Well, so
And
John
took-
Varvatos bought it, the clothing brand, the
Okay.
designer, and he is such a big rock fan that he actually, when he bought it, he said, "Don't take anything out of this place."
Yeah.
He got plexiglass and he put it over all of the posters
Wow, that's
and all of the
sick.
Well,
signatures.
hopefully that
sick.
wall.
Everything
hopefully
is
the
preserved.
wall's
It is.
untouched
It
back
is.
there.
If you
because-
go, it's really
Oh,
cool.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
And
Yeah,
that particular location of John Varvatos doesn't even sell anything like mainline John Varvatos. It's
Yeah.
just CBGB stuff. So he
Oh
does
wow,
like
that's incredible.
all original CBGB merch. They
Yeah.
still do shows in there. Everything is exactly the way that it was.
That's
so
phenomenal.
dope.
I was
which
going to
is
say, because
really
not
cool.
to sound selfish, but my name's on that wall, darn it. I took
Hey.
that marker and I'm like,
Hell
oh,
yeah.
As you should.
Hell yeah! Right
So-
over Patty
Right.
Smith.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't do that.
He like,
Maybe
So,
we
yeah.
can continue down the couch music industry lesson.
So yeah, sorry about that.
Would you-
Got
would you-
sidetracked.
You're good. Ooh, there's a lot. I think my main thing that I try to focus on is show up. I mean, that's a big thing for me. You know, if you're in this industry, you gotta love it. And every opportunity, you never know what that can lead to. So
That's
make
it.
the most of every opportunity. Another thing, this industry is so competitive, and there's so many people in it. Stay in your lane. Don't compare yourself to other people.
yeah,
Do what you love. Stay true to your sound, what you're writing, and you're gonna be fine.
yes.
I feel like if you get too wrapped up in what other people are doing, you're gonna just waste time, and you just gotta stay in your lane. So that's my advice.
Yeah, there's a lot
That's
of
good advice, yeah.
bad stuff that can happen when you get caught up
Yeah.
in like what other people are doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is it my
Yeah,
turn?
yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's your turn.
I thought you were about to start.
Yeah. So, okay, so something that I'm really great friends with. I don't know if y'all know Bonnie Baker. You know
know the
Bonnie
name,
Baker?
Bonnie Baker.
So she's written a lot of hits for Hunter Hayes.
Okay, cool.
And
Love
so I know he's great. One of the biggest things that so I'm really great friends with her, and she's very much a wise lady when it comes to like, cause she's been songwriting for years. I mean, she's written for Reba, she's written for Dixie Chicks. So like one of the biggest things that she told me, she was like, come in and do your homework when it comes to writing. Because a lot of times when writers come in, they don't have anything together when they come into the room. So one of the biggest things that she told me, she was like, do your homework before you come into the room. Have topics ready to go. Make sure that you are understanding like what you want to write about. And if you are writing for somebody or if you're writing for another artist, make sure that you do your homework on that artist before you walk in. Because a lot of times you walk in and Like sometimes the artist doesn't know what they want to write about, right? But then also like if you're an artist and you're wanting people and you're wanting to write about something, sometimes the writers that are writing for you, they're like, well, what do you want to write about? And if you walk in and you don't have anything ready to go, that looks to them as like you're very unprofessional. You don't know who you are as an artist. So they want to know who you are as an artist when you walk in. So come in and study the craft, who you are as an artist, and do your homework. So that's one of the biggest things she told me. Also, really just know your brand. Like she was just saying, know your brand, know who you are, stay in your lane, and just really own it. Because there's a lot of times where people will tell you, oh, this is what is trending right now. This is what works. Because the labels will tell you that all the time. This is what works. So, like, you should do this and you should do that, right? But we all know that in this industry, it's all about, like, what trends are. And those trends can, like, change in any minute, right? Those trends can be able to go into, like, 5 years down the road, they're going to something else. I mean, if you look at country music right now, it's starting to go back to traditional country right now, like with Zach Top and Braxton Keith, right? So everybody, there's a trend that's changing. And then at one point, it was Morgan Wallen, right? For like many years, 5-6 years. Like, so if you know who you are as an artist, that somebody's going to gravitate to that. And that's something that I've learned so much in this industry is like, don't change who you are. Learn the craft of who you are and your brand, and the rest will follow. So
I love that. I love that. It's like you got your journey, you're driving, you know where you're going, and then there's constantly like these exits that you
exactly
like, oh, try this, hey,
yes,
sandwich for 99 cents or whatever it is. And all these things that you could get distracted by, but you got to keep the path.
Did you all of you did you find that you were changing brands that wasn't working, like it kind of made you rudderless?
I mean,
to
when
find that, did you have to go through a lot of different changes to find that brand?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I will say this. Like when I was in New York, because I started I actually started in Arkansas, and then I moved to New York and did the upstate New York, and I did that whole rodeo route there, and there I was really I was just then really figuring out where I landed in music, like in country music, right? And everybody was telling me like, oh, go the pop country route, go the R&B country route or whatever, right? And so I was trying different things that are really just like, that really like could be able to help me to go viral or something like that. But when I got here to Nashville, it was still like a thing of like, oh, maybe I should do this or maybe I should do that. But as you grow as an artist, and you be able to get wiser in this thing, it becomes a point of like, what the hell am I doing? You have that mindset of like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I trying to change my image of who I am to fit what these people want, right? I'm not going to like my music. Like, I'm going to hate my fucking music. Like, I literally am going to hate my music. And that is the moment that I had to like just really just take myself out of the category of like, stop trying to like focus on what people want from you, but focus on what you're gonna love for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
There's that.
You know what I'm saying? Because then people are gonna gravitate to it.
And like it changes so much. Like every artist that is like, I don't know, older now, it's like their styles have evolved and changed. But I feel like, especially for us as a duo, like it's almost a year new. And I think we've found our sound and what we want to say, but obviously 5 years down the road might look a little different. You don't know.
It might, as long as we keep
writing good songs.
Writing songs that you're proud of and that say the things that you want to say. Hopefully there's somebody out there who's going to listen to that and go, oh, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And it will. It will.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's just like write good stuff that you love.
Yes.
I mean,
I think a lot of people in the music industry could probably get jaded to the fact that no matter what it is that you're trying to say, there's likely so many people out there that can relate to where you're coming from.
100%. But then also, what we have to also remember is that people can see right through if like you're trying to chase something, right? So we have to remember that.
You have to be authentic.
You have to be authentic in all of this, because if you're not authentic in all of this, a mile away, people can tell. A mile away. Like they can sniff it out, like, oh, he's
Mhm.
trying to do this
Yep.
because like this is a trend now, or da 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 da. Right?
Yeah.
People can tell, but the more that you are authentic to who you are, and you're singing the way that you know that you've been singing this whole time, people are gonna gravitate to that because they can see it, they can feel it, they can feel the energy, and it'll go so far. How do you think that all of these artists that are big now have like built a great brand? Not because of you having a whole team, like, because obviously without a team you're gonna fail, right?
Mhm.
But like with them before they had the team, they were being their authentic self, and they grew a following. They grew a brand that really just illustrates who they are as an artist, but also as a person in general. And so when you do that, it causes people to be like, yo, I want to follow you. Not because I've had this situation happen before too, where I've had people be like, yo, like, I don't really F with country music, but I F with your music, right?
Mm.
And it's like, it's weird to me because I'm like, yo, why don't you like country music? Because I like it just as much, right? But people are not so focused on the music. They're focused on supporting you as a person. So what are you giving value to them? Are you giving value to them like as a person, or are you just giving them value for music?
Yeah.
So you have to remember, what is value for them when they come across your page? Are you going to be the funny person outside of music? Are you going to be the character that like is really country? Like, you know what I'm saying? What is going to be value for them outside of music? And that's why they're following you, because they love you outside of that.
Yeah, it's the personal connection.
It is.
That people forget about it. Personality is part of the branding.
Yes.
It really is. And that's why it's interesting that like music can reflect like your personality and vice versa. And that's where part of that authenticity comes in.
Yeah.
And so in finding yourself, you know, and like you said, it's almost full circle. You come back to who you really are at some point, and that reflects in the way that you present your music, you present yourself on stage. That personality comes through, and then the personal human contact occurs, and you get those fans for life. Sorry, John.
No, I just think it's great. That I loved what you had to say about, like, you know, if you're yourself, that's where it all takes off.
Yeah.
And then the choreography, the fashion consulting,
Splits. He's
all
gotta
of that
learn
stuff,
splits.
all the
Splits
splits,
now.
all that stuff.
That's
Well,
your-
it won't be viral because we will have planned it. So maybe I shouldn't.
Wait, what?
It needs to be authentic.
Yeah.
But that's just like the fuel that's put on the fire. That's like the turning up the volume on the speaker. It's like it's just amplifying what is real and authentic, and people connect to.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they're hungry for it. They really are, or something. It's,
No, but for real, people are hungry for it. They're hungry for
Yep.
authenticity.
They want real.
If you watch how the trends are going now, people are so sick of like, oh, he's putting out a video or she's putting out a great productive video. And I've learned through my social media that like some people just like for you to just be in the camera and just talking to them, right?
Yeah.
Personal touch.
Some people just don't want to see the videos because to them it's like, we know you can sing, bro. We know you can sing. Like we want to see the authentic you. Like we want to see
They
like,
really do.
you know, you dressing up, or you like having a day where you just like, yo, like, let me tell you about this motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I can't tell you how many videos I've enjoyed that start like
right.
that.
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I just did I did a video not too long ago about like, cause I just got out of a label deal not too long ago, and that video was like going because people are like, oh, I want to hear the tea about that, right? They don't care about like as much. They don't care as much about like how great the music is because they already have been gravitated to your music. So now you have to give them another piece of the layer of who you are at this point. Like, what is going to make you stand out outside of your music? So it's about you sharing your story. It's a whole thing, you know.
They want
There's
to
a lot of
feel like they're.
pieces.
I was going to say the audience wants to feel like they're part of your life in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So that's a good question. How important is social engagement with your audience? Like, do you all do that on a regular basis? Do you reach out, like if someone reaches out to you, do you just get back to them really quick? And is that how you make a connection?
Engagement is important, and you know, when people message us on Instagram or reach out in any way after a show, it's really important to hit them back pretty quick, and
Yeah.
you know, especially if they're complimentary of what they heard or what they saw, you know, say thank you, because it's important to show gratitude when somebody is showing up and meeting you where you are, and
Yeah.
you know, coming out to see you. That's really cool. So yes, obviously that kind of engagement is big, and then there's the whole, you know, post a video every day, and it gets kind of, I'm sure you agree, it gets a little gratuitous, and
Yeah.
it starts to feel staged, and
Yeah.
you know, there are a lot of videos out there that people can find of us playing and singing, and you know, sort of like what you were saying, Tay. It's
Yeah.
like, we get it.
Yeah.
Like we know.
Y'all sing.
Like,
Yeah.
oh,
We know
are
you can
guys
sing.
singing
Damn.
something?
Yeah.
Like, no, it's like
They like, we know you can sing.
We-
Damn.
every-
Like,
Play
can
a
you
blue
do something
guitar and you
else?
can sing.
Like,
every
Yeah.
picture of us has two guitars and we're standing in
Yeah.
front of microphones. We
Yeah.
fucking get it.
Yeah.
But also,
But for real.
but
Oh, it's
so trying to find,
true.
you know, whatever people are gonna relate to. I don't know if there's a correlation between that and modern success, but I'm sure there is. You seem to be more clued into the trends than I am, or I don't know.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah,
Well,
just
the-
trying to,
the thing is
show
like-
up to meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
That's all it
Yeah.
is.
The thing is like, you know, we have this mindset of like, and I'll say this too. We have this mindset of like, we have to like be putting music out, or we have to be like doing covers or doing something that's music all the time on social media, right? And so like that's what labels have told us. So that's what people have told us, like we have to do that all the time. But I've learned that like it's okay for you to branch out and like really just like let people come into your circle and just like
Post about your personal life. It doesn't always just have to be music. You
Yeah.
know?
That's the advice we're getting is
Yeah.
post less covers and post more
Yes.
day to day what we're doing.
Yeah.
I get quite
People
a
wanna
few
see that.
views on like just when I post about my cat.
yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
What Alexa K, is that her name? The one-
Alexandra K.
Yeah, Alexandria K. I watched more of her videos where she's like working in her kitchen singing.
Yeah.
Sure.
She's making something. It's really about her what she was making that day, but she happened to be singing a song with it, and everything went viral because she's singing while she's cooking,
Yeah.
and doing stuff
Yeah.
like this. And I was like, well, that's really interesting. So it always pulled me in,
Yeah.
and so I became a fan of hers really from her just like singing around her house.
I would say
You
like
know? It was crazy.
yeah, I'll say like the top people that I see on social media that is like really killing it in country is Alexandra K.
Yep.
But Emily Ann Roberts as well.
She's great.
She's
I love her. She's
you know,
the sweetest person.
oh my God.
Yeah.
But she kills it on social media
Yeah.
from going into the point of like just really letting people in and like talking about how she bakes stuff for her husband, but she's also planning stuff outside with her husband. She's building a business with her husband, right? But she's also talking about the strenuous stuff that is like that she's dealing with when it comes to the industry. So like those things, and they go viral. But then she also adds in her music as well. So like it's those things that causes people to be like, yo, I want to follow you
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
you've given me so much energy of like your personality, and I love that for you, right? But more importantly, like she's a great person just in general. Like she has a heartwarming spirit, and people can gravitate to that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It goes back to me saying again, like the authenticity that people
Mhm.
can see that. And if,
Relatability.
like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Relatability.
Yep.
And if you don't, if people can't see that, then they're not gonna follow you.
Well, and also
Like,
you can't make yourself somebody who you aren't. So
100%.
some people, they're just never going to be stars on Instagram because their authentic self is not something that is going to go
Yes.
viral.
yes,
But they're still being authentic. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Some people have it, some people they don't. I think there's something to that as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like some people have it, some people don't. In terms of like, being able to captivate an audience naturally and to be able to do that. So
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
I ain't gonna lie, like it was hard. It's hard for me sometimes to like figure out because somebody has came up to me one day and they was just like, "Yo, what do you do outside of music?" And I couldn't even answer. I literally could not answer because I was like, music has been my life for so long. I'm just like,
Amazing.
damn, what do I do outside of music? Like, I have a cat.
You got hats. You
I
got
like
your-
hats, so I'm like,
yeah, there you go.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I
you
do
like, do
text
you hang
him
out? Right, I
sometimes,
text
like-
sometimes. Do I have friends that I hang out with? Yeah, we
You
eat.
eat?
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I'm like, damn, what do I actually do? Like, do I knit? No, I don't. Like, do I go bowling? Like, So one person literally told me, they was like, that is very toxic because you need to figure out like, what do you do outside? My therapist literally told
It's
me
good
that.
to have
He was
hobbies.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
My therapist was like, if you are so focused in music all the time, that is very toxic because you need to figure out like, what do you do outside of music?
Every now and then we've had a long week with music.
Yeah.
Just like a lot going on.
Yeah.
What was this? We got dinner one night and we said no talk about music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No talk about music.
I think we'd had 2 writes and a demo session and
Yeah. Like
a
3
team
calls.
call and shit
Yeah.
like that. And at the end of the night, we were like, "Are you hungry? Do you want to like go and get food?" So we went to like Edley's on.
Yeah.
You know, and we sat down and we were like, "Can we just not? Can
Talk
we just
about
not
music.
talk
Did
about
you
it?"
make
But do you
it?
know
Did
what
you
the-
make it
no.
the whole time?
No.
we didn't.
We did it!
We
That's
made
the
it like
issue.
10 minutes.
See what I'm saying?
People, it's
See
not
what
even.
I'm
10
saying?
It's not even
in.
that we were talking about our music. We weren't talking about our stuff.
Just
All
the
right, all right.
industry.
But it inevitably came up that we started talking about somebody else's music or this person that we both know who's in music because
Yeah.
when you steep yourself in it,
Yeah.
I agree with your therapist that it is toxic to not
Yeah.
have another outlet.
Yeah.
But when you steep yourself in it and it becomes what you do and it's also what you love, and I think everybody on this couch right now agrees that we are incredibly fortunate to be in a place and doing a thing that most people can't fathom the fact that
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
get the opportunity to
Absolutely.
wake up every morning and
Definitely.
do the thing that we
Yeah.
love to
It's
do
important to
Yeah.
remember
and
that.
have that be the thing that we do.
Yeah.
So yes,
Mm.
hobbies are important. Knit, by all means. Have a cat. Love your cat. Eat, it's important. But also,
Oh my God.
the fact that music is everything
Eat
that
is
we
very
do
important.
is something that it cannot be
Yeah.
stressed to enough that it is incredible that we get to do that all the time.
Yeah.
So when we sat down to dinner and we said let's not talk about music, what we really meant was let's
Yeah.
not talk about our music.
Yeah.
We're still going to
Mm.
talk about music
Yeah.
because it's the thing that we love.
It's
It's
what we love.
it's what we know. It's
Yeah.
what we know what to talk about. If you sat me down and said for the next 3 hours you're not allowed to talk about music in any form, I think I would probably just
I
eat
would
in
fail.
silence because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
not that's what you love. That's what
Honestly,
it's
yeah.
what we love.
I
I
And
feel
there's,
you.
there's
I
not
feel you.
shame in that, and it's not
Yeah.
toxic.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I get what you're saying because like I was arguing with my therapist about it. I was like, I don't think it's toxic. Like I
It's your
you know what I'm
fucking
saying?
life.
This
It's
is my
in our
life. Like this is my
blood.
career.
Yeah.
And he was just like, well, you got to understand, like, and then I started. He told me, he was like, you have to understand that like there has to be a level of like when you get around people who are not about music all the time. They don't want to hear that
You
shit.
just don't
No,
get
you
it.
know what I'm
If
saying?
you can just say you don't get it,
Right.
therapist.
But
you
I'm
know,
sure,
like,
Right.
but I'm sure that person that might not understand
They may
the
be
music
enthused about
industry
it. Yeah.
might want to talk about their favorite Billie Eilish song that they've
Exactly.
been listening to,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Or music is the universal language for a reason.
Yes.
You know.
It is.
It's true.
There's
Yeah.
a reason that operas written in German are still
That is
loved
true.
Yeah.
by some snooty person on the Upper East Side of New York.
Yeah.
It's transcendent of culture. It's transcendent
Yeah.
of language.
Yes.
It's a thing.
it's the art that
Yeah.
decorates our time.
Nerds
It's
will
unlike
try to
anything
tell you
else.
it's math. It's not math.
Ah!
It is what it is. Yeah.
Well, this has turned out to be a very profound conversation.
It has
Yeah.
been.
I thought when this all started that this was going to be the tinfoil hat episode, and I'm glad I was wrong because
Yeah. Yeah, this has been
here we
great.
are.
Yeah.
This has
Very
been great.
It is.
love
I think we're at the point where it'd be great to hear some
You
music.
wanna play some
I'd
shit?
love
Yeah.
Tell you,
Who
you
would-
want to play
yeah.
some
Get
music?
off.
You want to go
Oh,
first?
I gotta go first?
Grab that
have to.
guitar.
Oh, y'all go
Well, it's going to be
first.
one of you.
Y'all go first.
All right,
You wanna
fine.
go first?
All
No,
right,
rock,
all right.
paper, scissors.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Okay, all right,
All right.
Is it loser goes first? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay,
you go
I was
ahead.
like,
All right.
I'll
Okay.
take this.
All right, you take it. You take it.
I got it. I got it.
I'm
So,
good at
so,
rock,
so,
paper,
so,
scissors.
Okay.
Okay.
Paper, scissors, shoot. Dang it.
Hey, all right.
I
all right.
told you.
I'll take that one so you don't have to.
Yeah, I was
Dang
gonna-
it.
No, it's
Double
like when you're
fist
playing
control.
rounds, you always
Guitars.
have to be that first
Yep.
person to
I
go.
know,
Alright, so-
and I'm like, I don't want to go first.
I am going to adjust the sound a little bit here.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you see.
Don't mind me.
Good thing I don't have my guitar.
Yeah,
This
it would
wouldn't
be a
work.
little. It would be a little. Yeah, tight as far as guitars go. So.
So you got to try to play the guitar a little bit quieter. Tends to drown out the voices. I don't know if we already went over that, but
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
That's
John, you can
Let's
probably just let
you
her know.
want to
Yeah.
let it rip
Try.
just a little bit with
Let
the
it
vocal?
rip.
I think it'll be fine.
And I'm
No, I don't
Pray
actually
that
sing like
capo
that.
works.
I don't actually sing like that.
I was here for it.
Were you really? Let me see. Summer of 21, young and dumb and getting drunk. You in my jacket. Now I'm nostalgic. Thinking about rum and love. Get tangled up and get enough of that midnight magic. Baby, we had it the summer of 21. Yeah, yeah. You pulling up to that 2-in-1 Airbnb, and it was 6 days and 7 nights in Myrtle Beach. Y'all were anything but quiet, but you know I didn't mind it. Between the noise and the way you smiled, girl, I liked it. Summer of 21, young and dumb and getting drunk. You in my jacket. Now I'm nostalgic, thinking about rum and love. You tangled up and get enough that midnight magic. Yeah, baby, we had it the summer of 21. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I can still feel the way your hand felt inside of mine, and the taste of my lips on yours ain't faded over time. I found some sand in my pocket. It took me back to that August. Trying to hold on to that feeling, but I lost it. The summer of 21, young and dumb and getting drunk. You in my jacket. Now I'm nostalgic, thinking about rum and love. Get tangled up, couldn't get enough of that midnight magic. Yeah, baby, we had it the summer of 21. The summer of 21. The summer of 21. Yeah, the summer of 21. Yeah, the summer of 21.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Hey.
Your voice is great.
Wow.
What was Noah saying about how lucky we are? How
Yeah.
blessed we are to
Amazing.
Oh, God.
That's amazing.
be hanging with our
What do you mean,
friends
no?
and co-writers.
Are you kidding?
Well,
Amazing.
great.
That was
Amazing.
crazy. So
Great.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is
All right.
very, raw and acoustic.
Yeah.
I know. I'm ready to do this.
How we
So this is gonna be our.
I'm checking how if I'm in the red.
Is that how loud you can be strumming?
Yeah, that's about as loud as it gets.
Okay.
Wait, was mine loud? Please say no.
I think you were fine.
Okay.
There were a couple times where you just let it rip, and it was,
Was it peaking?
yeah, just a little bit, but it was
Little bit.
fine. It was
This is
fine.
probably gonna
It
be
wasn't
great.
bad.
You
It
did great.
didn't.
That's why I have it
It
turned
didn't
away from
totally
the microphone.
fry.
I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
It was fine. It
No,
was
you
fine.
did great. That was
I was
great.
like, fuck.
It
Oh my
got-
gosh,
it got-
that
no,
was
you did
I
great.
know,
I would
but I
actually-
hate when I peek in the mic.
It
'cause
wasn't
it's like,
bad. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
I've got a limiter on it, so
Oh,
it's like
okay. So we good.
Yeah,
I
so
think
we're
it's
fine.
fine. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Noah, just a point. It might be great because to keep the guitar pointed that.
That's what I was
direction.
thinking. Is just pointed at.
Yeah.
Then it won't be as
Yeah,
loud.
I think that would be great.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
That's
That'd
what
be
we'll
really
do.
helpful.
You ready?
Yeah.
We'll do "Fight This Out," which is the song that we have coming out on April 18th.
Awesome.
Yay.
Congratulations. That's great.
Let's hear it.
You coming home with whiskey I bite my tongue when I'm upset.
It's the rasp for me. It's the rasp. It's the rasp.
You think that I
your stubborn mind. Give the neighbors something to bitch about. Don't be scared to cross the line. We can't make up if we don't cuss and shout. So baby, let's fight this out. Woo!
Well, you ain't the kind to slam on the door.
You ain't the kind to stamp the floor.
You're gonna have to share the blame.
Or else we'll set this house ablaze. Oh, baby, let's fight this out. Give me a piece of your stubborn mind. Give the neighbors something to bitch about. Don't be scared to cross the line. We can't make up if we don't cuss and shout. So baby, let's fight this out. This is the part where the lead guitar player does some really cool shit. And I just keep playing these 3 lines. There's too much love to say we're done. There's too much left to lose. This back and forth, what's it for? When all I want is you. So baby, let's fight this out. Give me a piece of your stubborn mind. Give the neighbors something to bitch about. Don't be scared to cross the line. We can't make up if we don't cuss and shout. Oh, you're the one that I can't live without. So baby, let's fight this out. Baby, let's fight this out.
That's so good. That's
Man,
so
that was
good.
awesome.
Oh my
Man.
God, that was great. Hey,
Yes.
everybody, please tune in. We're here every Friday night reporting from Kingship Studios here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm your co-host, John Clinebell. This is Scott Barry. This
Hello,
is
hello,
Jericho.
hello.
These are our lovely guests.
Tay Lewis.
Hey,
what
And Somewhere Blue.
Somewhere Blue.
Yeah.
That's Brooke and
Somewhere
Noah.
Blue.
Brooke
Brooke
and
and Noah. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week. And have yourself a great weekend. All right, everybody?